What's going on, everybody? My name's Parth and welcome back for another episode of our playthrough of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. In the previous episode we took care of Team Snag'em and we also got our Snag Machine back, so we are back in action to catch more Shadow Pokemon. We even made it back to the Cipher Key Lair because the thing is, we were in this area specifically in the previous episode, but we couldn't really do much because we did not have our Snag Machine with us. So we followed like the two Team Snag'em runs that were a part of the whole ambushing me and taking my Snag Machine and everything like that, and so it led us towards here, and the only thing we could do is just basically have a battle against Zook, the big guy that we're about to go up against again, but this time we have our Snag Machine with us, so this time we can actually steal his Shadow Zangoose that he has on his team. And when we defeated Gonzap in the previous episode, Gonzap is the leader of Team Snag'em. He was like, you know what, you beat me fair and square, so here's your Snag Machine back. And we even had the same goal. We also want to put an end to Team Cipher, because if you guys remember my Pokemon Coliseum playthrough, Team Snag'em was also working with Team Cipher and all that stuff, so they parted ways. So Gonzap was like, you know what, I'll help you out. And I want to give you guys a team update. So we have a huge change, not okay, maybe a big change, whatever, however you want to call it. So as you can see, I used to have Mightyena, aka Loki, because that's what I named my Mightyena. I used to have Mightyena on my team. Now it is no longer on our team, and I replaced it with the routes, well, the shadow routes that we caught earlier in this series. I ended up purifying it and evolved it all the way to Gardevoir. I was in my training arc, basically. I was even making the decision on who I wanted as my last team member, and that last team member ended up being Flygon. It took a while for a Trapinch, like the Pokemon Trapinch, you know, Trapinch evolves into Vibrava, and Vibrava evolves into Flygon at level 45. And I gave it a really cool nickname, and this is like one of my go-to nicknames for Flygon, which is the nickname Mirage. And I'm just now realizing that it's Adamant Nature. I've been so focused on just literally leveling up all my Pokemon to like 40 something, and I'll be honest, we're kind of over leveled just for this area specifically, because when we get to the finale, then we'll be on par with all the other Team Cipher guns that we face off in the finale. But anyways, off topic, sorry. So I gave Flygon this moveset, and later on in the Cipher Key Layer, we do get, okay, so there's two specific items that we are looking for, which is the move Earthquake, and I think it's also Thunderbolt. So in one of the item boxes, out of all the cajillion item boxes that I will encounter in the Cipher Key Layer, it has the move Earthquake and Thunderbolt, and I plan on giving the move Earthquake to Flygon because, of course, you know, it's a ground type. Gotta give it an actual ground type move. So right now, it has Crunch, Dragon Breath, Feint Attack, and Flamethrower. And so basically, what I was trying to do, right? And I was trying to originally have Mightyena replaced with a Crobat. And then I realized, okay, wait, no, I feel like it's going to have a weakness or whatever. And then I just stuck with, you know, just putting routes on the team and purified it and everything like that. And now it's a Gardevoir. It's a beautiful Gardevoir. I named it Athena. Right now it has Shockwave, Shadow Ball, Calm Mind, and Psychic, a literal powerhouse move. And in the previous episode, you guys noticed that I had a Lair. Now I evolved it into a badass Aggron. Oh, whoops. I meant to go into the moveset. The moveset that it has so far is Iron Tail, Rock Tomb, Thunder, and Takedown. So I'm going to have to adjust the moveset for this because I do want to get rid of the move Takedown. Maybe with something else. Maybe with, no, not Thunderbolt. Sorry, it already has Thunder. So yeah, everybody is basically over leveled, but just for this area specifically, because everybody that I'm gonna be going up against in the Cipher Key Layer is gonna be like 30 something, and I think once we get to the boss fight in this area, I think that's when we'll encounter a level, what, like a 41, I think. I forget. I was literally just looking at the list earlier. So, oh wow, okay, cool. He sent out his Zangoose already, so we can just literally focus on just catching that out and getting it out the way. So we got Gauntlet and freaking Athena. You know, it's low-key kind of sad that I ended up just putting Mighty Anna back in the PC box and replacing it with a different team member. But the thing is, though, you know, Mighty Anna learns the move Crunch at level 47. And the thing is, though, I was actually contemplating on using Larvitar, because I caught Larvitar, I think, like, well, I showed it off, I think, in the previous episode or in the episode before that. But I was like, damn, bro, you know what? I can't, because the thing is, Larvitar, you know, when it evolves to Tyranitar, it is part rock and dark type. I don't want to have 3 dark types, so I got rid of Mighty Anna, and that would lead me towards having 2 dark types. And then Tyranitar is also part rock type, and I already have a rock type, which is my Aggron. I was like, oh my god, I gotta balance out this team, you know? Alright, so what we're gonna do, right? Let me double check my move sets really quick, because oh wait, no, actually no, bring out Breloom because it has Stun Spore, and we can probably do something, because I am over leveled as hell. So any shadow Pokemon that I encounter throughout this episode and the next episode, because the thing is, though, I think I'm gonna split up the Cipher Key Lair into 2 episodes. I'm not sure, because the thing is, I'm gonna be going all over the place and trying to get items and stuff like that. So if this episode ends up being long, then the next episode is gonna be short. So we'll have to find. We'll have to see. Well, I don't know how long this episode will be. We'll have to find out, and let's see what kind of progress I make so far. All right, so we're gonna go for Thunder, and then we're gonna use Stun Spore on the Zangoose. I mean, even if we kill the Zangoose, I can just restart, because I literally saved right, or I literally, my last save was me standing right behind a Zook, basically. Alright, so go for the Stun Spore. Oh boy. Yeah, go for the Stun Spore. And now you're paralyzed. So now what we're gonna do is probably, yeah, switch into you, and then, oh wait, damn it, okay, wait, let's go for Sky Uppercut on Survivor. Yeah, dude, like, compared to the levels that my Pokemon are on, is like, yeah, no, you're just a scrub, you're just not on my level, bro. You're in the level 20s, bro. Alright, so what we're gonna do, and I hope you don't kill it. Maybe we could try catching it. Maybe we could try catching it. And I also ended up stocking up on Pokeballs, because we're gonna be catching a lot of Shadow Pokemon in this episode. Oh boy. Okay. I want to see what I could do, because I don't want to, like, you know, destroy the Zangoose, man. All right, so let's go for a Luxury Ball. Alright, so what we're gonna do is go for Mega Drain, because it's the ×4 weakness, because Relicanth is part Water and Rock, and it's weak again, and both typings are weak against Grass type, so boom. Alright, so yeah, let's just try to see. Okay, was that your last Pokemon? Okay, cool. Let's just try to go for the Ember. Let's see how much damage it really does. And then we'll see what happens. Alright, let's go for a Timer Ball. Can we catch it? Okay, good. I'm glad we were able to catch it. Wow, okay, and oh yeah, and as I said, I think I've already said it, I already forgot what I said when I was going over my team update. Long story short, I was going through a training arc, because once I unlocked, like, area 5 and 6 for Mount Battle, right? When I unlocked area 5 and 6, because area 5 and 6 are, like, the trainers where their Pokemons are, like, around, like, level 40 something, so it was a great way to level up my Pokemon very easily and fast. And also when it came to leveling up my my Vibrava when I was trying to get it to level 45 to evolve. Yay, let's go. Waken, go put these buffoons, these goofballs to sleep. Gloom used sleep powder, now they're asleep. Alright, so now, good going, let's go. Got to be of service, hell yeah. Now's our chance, hurry, we can wreck Cipher right now. Let's go. My guy, my brother from another mother, came through to save us from these 2 big bodyguards. These 2 randoms, even though they're not even really affiliated with Team Cipher, but it's okay. You know what's always so interesting about, like, just Pokemon games in general, and, like, the protagonists? It's the fact that it's like a super young kid putting a stop to a villain organization. Like, for example, when okay, I remember I was talking about like favorite like villain organizations, like, you know, when it came to like just any villain organization from any video games, but I was kind of just using the villain organizations from the Pokemon games, and how, like, you know, a 10-year-old kid went to the fucking distortion world in Pokemon Platinum. I'm sitting here thinking in my head, you know, when I was 10 years old, I was literally playing as the main protagonist, and, you know, also putting a stop to this and imagining myself going into the, you know, distortion world. Like, that's crazy, bro. That's like crazy. A 10-year-old kid going into the distortion world. And then what's another one? Oh, and in Pokemon Emerald, right? In Pokemon Emerald, specifically in Pokemon Emerald, because it had to do with not only just one legendary Pokemon, like, you know, Kyogre and Groudon, but it's the fact that, you know, in Pokemon Emerald, when you see Kyogre and Groudon clashing at each other, it's a whole climate change. And then you have to go to the beast itself, Rayquaza. Homeboy wakes up from its slumber and says, "Ah, man, what happened again? What do I gotta do?" Like, wakes up and then says, "Hey, yo, Kyogre, Groudon, stop beefing and shit like that." And I'm like, did we just really go into like a sketchy, abandoned little tower where the legendary beast Rayquaza lives? That's crazy, in my opinion. I don't, you know, if I was that 10-year-old kid from the Hoenn region and me having to like hear out the gym leader and also the champion telling me, yeah, just go to this tower and go wake up Rayquaza, I'm like, motherfucker, what? And another thing that's just so like crazy to me is that what was another one that's so crazy to me? Oh yeah, well, I mean, actually no, I'm curious. I kind of forgot how old the main protagonist that we are playing as right now in this game is. I know, okay, so I know Wes, you know, the main protagonist that we played during my Pokemon Coliseum playthrough. I know when we played as him, I think it was proven that he was like older, because there's no way that he's fucking like 12 years old. Like, hell no. Like, homeboy was driving a whole like vehicle, had a whole like badass ride to have his little partner in crime with us. But before we had the partner in crime with us, it was the Espeon and Umbreon sitting in the passenger seat. Looked like a freaking pod racer, you know, from the first episode of Star Wars Phantom Menace. That's what it reminded me of, bro. Like, yeah, no, I'm not even joking, bro. That's what it reminded me of, and I'm like, damn, bro, that's what it reminded me of. You know, just a pod racer, the vehicle that the main character or the main protagonist rides on in Pokemon Coliseum. It's pod racing time. Alright, so let's go ahead and kind of just speed our way through this, because we haven't encountered any Shadow Pokemon just yet. And I know that the Cipher Key Lair isn't too long. I just don't know how long it'll take me to go through all of this, because again, I want to get through the items and all that stuff. I think we encountered a Cipher Grunt that has a Shadow Pokemon, I think so. I'm not entirely, you know, sure. Okay, we go ahead, use Thunder, and go ahead and use Psychic on this Viper Murkrow. Yep, there's the first Shadow Pokemon that we encountered in... No, well, not first one, sorry. I meant to say second one, because we did catch the... Oh, shit. Okay. I literally forgot that this guy has two Shadow Pokemon. Alright, so... You know what? Here's what we're gonna do. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and go throw an Ultra Ball. And then what we're gonna do is send out Breloom. But I don't know if we'll catch on the first. Yeah, no, it's gonna be tedious. Dude, I'm like over leveled, so I have to be really careful, bro. Alright, so yay. I'm trying to catch Pokemon, because this is nerve-wracking because I'm super over leveled. Oh gosh, darn it. Okay. Let's go ahead and try again, because I can't really do anything right now. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's actually try to catch the Paras. The Paras. Pari. Alright. You're paralyzed. Okay, at least that was easy. Okay, so let's go ahead and catch you, since you're paralyzed. So let's see if we can do anything. Yeah, let's go! Hey, just have to give myself a round of applause for that. I love how he does like a barrel roll and then just covers himself. Like, no, please, no, I was just doing my job. Yeah, you're doing a terrible job, bro. Alright, so I'll be right back, and by the time I come back, we will be facing another Cipher grunt. Alright, so we have encountered another Cipher guy. Alright, so I don't think this one has any shadow Pokemon. I was just trying to get some items off screen because I wanted to get that out the way so that we're not like wasting any time. So that way we can, you know, kind of pick up the pace, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I need to get rid of the freaking whatchamacallit. I need to get rid of the EXP share. I need to take that away from my Gardevoir. Alright, so let's go ahead and use takedown on you. Actually, let's just double team the lantern. Use psychic on you. Okay, let's go. Alright, so now we can go ahead and use thunder and shockwave. Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna go down easily by thunder because Aggron is a beast, and of course we are over leveled as heck. Alright, so what do we got here? Do we have any items that we can kind of... There we go. We found an item box. TM24. Okay. I believe that's... Yep, that's Thunderbolt. Alright, so now we gotta find the move Earthquake in this area. So let's go ahead and... Well, find more items, and then we're gonna encounter more... Cipher grunts. Alright, here we go. Okay, so... Before I even go upstairs, I want to get, again, there's an item box right next to the staircase, and then there's another item box where I have to move that big old crate. Alright, so there is the Shelter that we need to catch. And then what we're gonna do is, of course, use the same strategy, use Stun Spore. Okay, I forgot to take off the XP share and take it away from Gardevoir. Goodness gracious. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch out really quick into Athena, and then what we're gonna do is Stun Spore on the Shelter. That's all we can do so far. I'm actually glad that I kept Stun Spore on my Gardevoir, because the thing is, that would have been very, very helpful. That's always been like a strategy, sort of. I mean, I don't know if it's like a full-on like helpful strategy, but it's always been like a strategy, like keep like at least like Stun Spore or something like that on one of your Pokemon. Like if, for example, like Ampharos or like Breloom, whoever can learn like moves, or whoever has like the ability or can learn the move where it can paralyze the Pokemon. Alright, so let's go ahead and... Oh, no, I meant to do this. Okay, Psychic on the Swalot, and then what we're going to do is use a Great Ball on the Shelter. Let's go ahead and... Yep, that was an easy catch. There we go. Now we can just take care of all of his Pokemon. I believe so. I think... And unless he brings out another Shadow Pokemon, which he will not. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and use Break. And, yeah, see, dude. Okay, I completely forgot to point this out. He had the Golbat. I was about to use a Crobat because Golbat evolves into Crobat. And I was going to use a Crobat on my team because I was like, you know what? I think it'd be nice to have a flying type on the team. But I was like, I think it's fine. So I chose Flygon. And also you started to realize I need to balance out the team, as I mentioned earlier in this video. And so yeah, Gardevoir and Flygon are now the permanent team members. So now we have a full team of 6. Alright, so what is this right here? Oh, it's just one of those like little items that we can just sell easily. So what we're going to do is go downstairs again. And then move this crate box over here. Well, actually no, heal up really quick because I'm glad we have a little healing machine. I think there's another one that we're going to encounter before we face off like the last like very few Cipher grunts and also the boss. Again, I don't really know how long this episode will be, depending how long it'll take me. Oh, here comes another Cipher grunt. Oh, aren't you a cutie? Have you gotten lost all alone? Okay, first of all, why are you calling me a cutie? First of all, I'm a kid. ladies and gentlemen, we found her. Alright, let's go ahead and speed this up really quick, even though I've been doing that for like throughout this whole entire episode. But it's okay, because the thing is, we're trying to kind of pick up the pace a little bit. Alright, so let's go ahead and use Thunder on you, and then Psychic on Blossom. Oh my god, okay. Goodness gracious, this is gonna be my third time saying this. Take away the XP share from Gardevoir. Alright. Well, it's a good thing Shockwave was able to land. Bro, oh my god, we're gonna be so over leveled. Alright. So we got, oh, rare candy. I love candy. Cooked candy is like crack, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so we found rare candy and we found good old Ultra Balls. Well, that's really good actually. That's very helpful. Alright, so let's go back up here just for that to reset. And then go heal up. And then make our way upstairs. Because I made sure to check all the other areas before we went up to this floor right here. Just to make sure. Because of course, you know, I need to get all the items. I need to get all the item boxes. So what we are going to do, and if I'm correct, this is like the last little area before we get to all the way to like well, technically the top floor. What I'm gonna do is call it an episode, and we shall finish up the Cipher Key Lair in the next episode. I know I should have made more progress, but then again, the Cipher Key Lair isn't too long from what I remember. It's not that bad, I promise. It's just that I just don't want to make this episode too long, and then next thing you know, the next episode just, I mean, okay, I wouldn't mind editing a short episode for the next episode, but the thing is though, I don't want this episode to be too long. So that's why I was kind of speeding up, even though I've been doing that for literally, I think throughout the entirety of like this series. But then again, I'm trying to pick up the pace. I also love to yap. But don't worry, I'll make sure to not speed up when we get to the boss fight. But anyways, in the next episode, we are going to wrap up the Cipher Key Lair, and of course catch all the other shadow Pokemon that we are going to encounter later in this little lair. Without further ado, guys, thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and smash that like button, and as always, guys, make sure to have a fantastic day.